What's the atmosphere like today? Is it a big turnout?
Well, yeah, it looks like tens of thousands of people. It's hard for me to tell exactly because I can't see how many there are backed up along Jerusalem Avenue. But this is an event that regularly attracts tens of thousands of people. It's not really a protest. They like to call it a celebration, but the atmosphere is often pretty violent and quite a lot of hate speech on display. You can possibly hear behind me the marchers haven't started marching yet. They're still listening to speeches from various far-right leaders. Now, in order to overcome the Warsaw mayor's attempt to ban this protest, the government actually ended up basically officially sanctioning it for the first time. So it's kind of an official state event this year for the first time, clearly supported by the ruling Law and Justice Party. But Poland's leaders haven't gone so far as to actually take part in the event. Poland's president made a speech earlier today in another part of Warsaw on Pilsudski Square, where he said it's time to step up and defend the fatherland, alluding to that migrant crisis on the Belarusian border, which Poland characterized as a hybrid attack coming from Belarus. In President Duda's speech, he kept referring to European unity, but also to the fact that Europe is founded on Christian values. This Christian values was the term that was most frequently repeated in his speech, clearly wanting to underline Poland's unwillingness to take in Muslim migrants.
Yeah, Gulliver, and as you say, this rally does take place every year, but does it seem to you the focus at this year's event is what we're looking at, what's been happening on the border with Belarus?
Yeah, I think that it's on everybody's mind in Poland, and people I spoke to this morning certainly said that Poland had to defend itself and not let these migrants in. That is actually probably a point of view that goes rather beyond the numbers of people who take part in this rally. There are other people who do think that as this is something that Alexander Lukashenko and Vladimir Putin have concocted and they're going to keep sending the migrants over, and that the fear is that if Poland were to let them in, then they would keep sending more and more of them, that simply adopting a sort of open-door policy is not really a viable option. That is a relatively widely held view in Poland, and a lot of people are not happy at all about the fact that that view here today is being represented mainly by people who are obviously of the far right. And then there are also people in Poland who, especially those who work for humanitarian organisations, who deplore what the government is doing and who do think that Poland should be letting at least some of these migrants in, and at the very least considering their asylum applications and encouraging them to apply for asylum in Poland, instead of saying basically we're going to push you back anyway, even if you apply for asylum, which is currently the policy.
Gulliver Cragg live for us there at the rally in Warsaw. Thanks very much indeed.